What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? This is still December 3rd, 2022. I'm gonna make a video here. I guess one of my stories. It all happened back in. I'm just kidding. This was the 80's. This right here was the 80's, and I had an apartment. Morrow Place Apartments was the name of the apartments. I'm saying the name now because last time I was there, passed there about a year ago, 2 years ago. They had a fence around it. And they was knocking it down. But I had an apartment, and my best friend from school and his girlfriend, we all got it together. We all got the apartment together, so we was roommates. But later on, he broke up with his girlfriend, and he had these guys just coming in. Everybody used to hang together and all, and I started getting mad at it. I was just mad. I'm like, darn, I'm paying rent. And then my roommate, he was out of a job for a little bit of something, so I was staying on top of the bills. I was paying the bills. So I was just talking to my mom and dad about it. And then one day when I got home from work one Saturday, my mom and dad was sitting on the stairs of the apartments. My dad went up there and told them, they said, you got so long to get your stuff packed and get out. And all this stuff. So I went up there and they was packing up and all. And he still owed me money from bills I paid, but I never got paid back. And so I was by myself for a while, and I kind of liked it. I like having an apartment by myself. And later on, my sister and her husband, they're not married anymore. They moved in below me. They just happened to get an apartment below me. So sometimes I'd go down there, hang out, and then sometimes they'd come up there. And like my sister told me one time, she said, well, what are you having tonight? And I said, fried chicken and this and that. Why don't you invite me in, me and, I ain't going to say the name, so-and-so to eat. So they came up there and ate with me. So, Sam, I'm getting ahead of myself, really. When my roommates were there, See, I'm getting ahead. That's what I'm afraid of. When my roommates were there at the time, I was in bed. My best friend came in there and said, hey, Mark, did you leave your car door open? I said, no. So I went out there. And that's the night. I've been, the last couple of nights, I was leaving my 38 special. I had a 38 special I carry with me, a Taurus. So anyway, my gun was gone. My gun was gone out of the car. I used to take it in and out, but I left it in my car. And it was, I think I had my glove compartment. So anyway, the cops came out there and took fingerprints and dusted for fingerprints on the door. So later on after that, my roommates had to move out. They moved out. My sister moved in after that. A little bit later, they moved below me. So they got speakers stolen out of their car. So I was always looking at my window. See, I'm on the second floor and they're down below. I'm always looking at my window and there's a floodlight over there, So I'm looking out my window and I see some guys. I see them messing around with this car over there. And I seen them, and you can see something hanging, like a radio with wires hanging down. You can see wires hanging down. There's like several guys. I don't know how many. But it was raining too. It was raining a little bit. I slid my blue jean shorts on. I had some cut off blue jean shorts. I slid them on. Didn't have a shirt or nothing on. Got my shotgun. I got a single shot shotgun my dad gave me. I still got it. I still got the gun. I had a foot locker and it had my shells in it, but I was running so fast and all, I didn't, and I had a combination lock on that chest. I just grabbed my gun, went downstairs, ran downstairs, bang on my sister's door, bang, 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 bang. They came to the door. I said, we got some thieves out here. So I went out there with my gun. It was here. It is raining. Went out there with my gun, and I seen these guys come out from behind beside the building. There's a fence over there. I think they was throwing everything behind the fence. But I went over and I had my shotgun, and I said, get on the ground. And one guy, he was taller than I was. He had long blonde hair, taller than I am. And these guys were standing around. And my sister, knowing how she is, she's like, I bet y'all the SOBs that stole our damn radio. You sorry, blah, 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 blah. I said, Dana, I said, calm down. And her husband sitting there like with his mouth open like. So my sister called the police, and I'm sitting there with a gun, holding them. And that older guy said, "Man, why don't you let them go?" He said, "I did." He said, "Let them go. They're young, and everything. If you think you can let them go." So anyway, in my mind, I thought, they might could have led them to. They might could have led them to something else to happen, but when I went over and I told them guys get on the ground, the guy had a 38. He put it on the trunk of a car that's parked backed up. He had a 38, looked just like mine that got stolen. But I guess it wasn't mine because nobody recalled me or nothing. But he laid it on the trunk of the car, and I'm thinking to myself, in my mind, I wasn't thinking he had a gun. For some reason, I wasn't even thinking about a gun he had. If it was loaded, he could have shot me real good. He could have shot me, and. So I went ahead and let them guys go. There's like 5 of them, and they was a little bit younger than him. But I said, "Y'all go on, go ahead." So I held a guy. I was sitting there holding a guy, and cars were rolling through with their stereos up a little bit. And he said, "It's like a party in the neighborhood here." I guess trying to get me in a conversation. Then all of a sudden, there's about like 4, maybe 4 police cars came along, and they told me, I said, put the gun on the ground. So I put the gun on the ground. And I told the cop, I said, it wasn't loaded. And the guy heard me. The guy that I caught heard me. He said, "You mean it wasn't loaded? I could have ran?" So I had to show up for court, I had to show up for court. I forgot how much longer later. I think it wasn't even a week, I don't think. We showed up in court, and he come out there with his orange jumpsuit on. I guess he couldn't afford bail or something. But he came out there with his orange jumpsuit on, and my mom wanted to go with me. My mom went with me. She just wanted to see what's going on. And no, there was no problem. He just pleaded guilty. He just said guilty, and that was it. But yeah, I got my gun stolen. My sister's got her stereo stolen, speaker stolen. So I was always looking out my window. I look out my window now. I look out my window now and see what's going on. But I let those guys go, and I said they could have let the cops the other stuff. Maybe they would have talked more or something. I don't know, but at the time it seemed like a good idea. I mean, it seemed like a dude. He just said, "Man, let them go. They're young. I've talked them into it. This and that. Blah blah." I just said, "Go ahead and go." I had them on the ground. They was on the ground. That was all. I said, "Get on the ground." They was all laying on the ground with an empty shotgun. But later on, my sister asked me. She said, "Why don't you move in with me?" And I'll just say Kenny because y'all don't know his last name. "Why don't you just move in with me and Kenny? We could save some money. We could divide, share the rent, whatever." So anyway, I ended up moving in with them. So I moved in with them, and believe it or not, shortly after I moved out now, her husband's brothers and cousins moved in my apartment. So her brothers, she had one brother. Let me get some water. Sorry. Golly, I hate when I talk. When I start talking, my voice cracks up on me. I hate interrupting stories. But my sister's husband, brother moved in, a cousin moved in. Yeah, 2 brothers. I think it was 2 brothers and a cousin. Or 3. Yes, 3 brothers. His 3 brothers and cousin moved in my apartment. And one of his brothers is married to my other sister now. So they married brothers. They both ended up marrying brothers. So the manager of the apartment, she said, "I ought to hire you for security." That's what I did at the time. I was doing security. I did security for several warehouses. I did security for a government building. And but yeah, years later, when I got married, it was in our second apartment because we moved to the townhouse in the same complex. Darren police called me and said, "Was a 38 special Taurus stolen, from you?" I said, "Yeah." I thought they found it. I said, "Yeah, it was." "Oh, we're just updating our records, blah, blah." I'm like, "God dang, I thought they found my gun." So I don't know where that gun is today. I don't know where it is. They got rid of it or what they did. But this is Morrow Place Apartments. Morrow. I don't know why they call it Morrow Place because there is a Morrow in Clayton County. This right here is Jonesboro. So it's on Terry Boulevard in Jonesboro, Georgia. And like I said, when I was getting my divorce and stuff, I passed by there several times. They had like a chain link fence around it. And you can see where they started demolishing them. So I don't know what's there now. They started demolishing them. My ex-wife and her mom lives pretty close to there. And it was pretty sturdy apartments. I mean, I don't remember ever hearing people like running around upstairs and all. Because I stayed in some when my house was getting built. And you can hear like somebody walking and stuff like that. You hear that. But when we lived in them apartments, I don't remember ever hearing people like walking upstairs or nothing. But that's just a story that happened. I didn't add nothing to it. I mean, it happened exactly like that. Went to court and the guy just pleaded guilty. So I don't know what he got after that because when he pleaded guilty, I guess he had to have another court date. I should have called and asked him, like, what did the guy get? Did he get anything? And oh yeah, the guy, when they stole stuff, they was to put it over the fence and they found some stuff like stereos and stuff like that behind that fence. But our apartments didn't have no gate. We didn't have no gate there, to go through. But of course, there's all these gates now in these apartments. I always hear they're always tore up and broke. The gates, I guess wear and tear or something. But just like where we lived when we was getting this house rebuilt. We stayed in these apartments, and sometimes you go through it and the gate's open. It's just open, it's stuck. It's like these gates never stay working. I guess because they get open and closed so many times. Yeah, I still got my shotgun now in there. I got my shotgun my dad gave me. I think it had to be early 80s. I want to say late 70s, but I believe it was early 80s. He got it for my birthday. I can't stand when I start talking. It just seems like dust or something just gets in my throat. But that's just a story. I told my sister I was going to tell a story and all, and she said, why don't you just tell your car stuff and all, your car, like repair, your little advice on cars and stuff. But I remember that one day it just hit me because I forgot all about it. I'm sure my mom will remember because we hadn't really talked about it since it happened. This was like the 80s. That'd be nice if it was in a paper. I guess the guy had to be a lot bigger or something, as far as crimes or something, But yeah, this is Morrow Place, Jonesboro, Georgia, right off Terry Boulevard. And I don't know if I'd say the name. I might say the name. It don't matter because the apartments didn't do anything. But the other manager said, yeah, maybe we ought to hire you for security for the apartments. And I wasn't really interested or nothing. I don't even remember the apartments having security, but I think maybe they was talking about it. It'd have been nice because come to think of it, when you start hearing about all that stuff stolen and all. But my sister, she was like, I bet y'all SOBs stole the speakers out of our car. Are you sorry, blah, 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 blah. I said, Dana, calm down. And her husband, like I said, her husband sit there. He didn't say a word. Yeah, I was out there. That's when I could run around with shorts and all, not work. Think about it. I was a little skinny though. I was too skinny. But when your adrenaline's pumping, that's all I did. I put them cut off jeans, on. Put them cut off jeans on. No shirt or nothing. No shirt. I don't even think I had shoes. I didn't have shoes. All I did was slid on them shorts. Ran downstairs, beat on my sister's door. Bang, 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 bang. But that is weird how things happen though. Her husband's cousin and 3 brothers move upstairs where I moved from, and I'm living with them now. And then it's just weird how things happen, I guess. Apartments were a lot reasonable then. The apartment I had 2 bathrooms, 2 full baths, and 2 bedrooms. And of course, the living room and kitchen. I paid $300 something a month. Can't remember offhand what I paid for electricity. Yeah, because I had like electricity and gas, and I can't remember right offhand what I paid, but I can't even remember water. Man, that's another thing. Water used to come with apartments. You know, you can use the water as much as you want to. You didn't have to worry about no water bill. I guess it was included, but $300 something for rent back then. Nowadays, you're lucky to get a small apartment for $1,000 something. That's the end of that story. If I come up with any more, I'll let you know. But I thought I'd tell y'all just stuff that happened to me in the 80's. That was in the 80's right there. That's when I had my apartment and everything. And it's a shame to see them knocking them down last time I was through there. But I guess they're going to develop it. Maybe I don't know if they're going to put more businesses there. I don't know if they're going to put another apartment or not. Knowing how things work now, they probably put houses up in there. Yeah, we also had a lady named I forget, Martha Bro. We had a lady named Martha Bro. She did security with me in the federal building I worked at. She did security, so I passed her and her husband's apartment every time going in. I come in from the road, and they was like the first building that was right there. Her husband was in a Cub Food commercial one day. We used to have a Cub Foods in Jonesboro, and I think Chuck E. Cheese is there. It's been there for years right now. But one day I was watching TV, and her husband was on there. He used to wear his cowboy kind of hat. And I told her one day, I said, I saw your husband on TV last night. And she said, yeah, he was in the store shopping. And she said, actually, they took him to another store. They took him to another Cub Foods to do the commercial and paid him $25. Anyway, that's the end of that one. That's the end of that story. I hope y'all liked it. I hope I didn't bore you too much, but that's just something that happened to me right there. I got another little story I might tell you later. Might not be as exciting, but it's just me and some guys hanging out and stuff. Mark's Views and Rants. Hey, like my channel, pass it on. Subscribe to my channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back later.